Welcome to Luis TV.
We are at Carlsbad Caverns National Park. This is our second day trying to come here. We came here yesterday and it was sold out completely. So we had to stay the night in Carlsbad and try again today. Hopefully they're not sold out this time. It's like 9 a.m. in the morning right now, but it's packed. It's like there's all kinds of people here. Okay, success. They are not sold out. We got tickets and they're gonna let us in at 11:30 a.m. So in the meantime, let's go get some breakfast.
Yes.
We're approaching the cave. I asked the park ranger like what the ventilation is like, and he says it takes 36 hours for the air to ventilate fully. So it's quite a long time. So basically, we're about to walk into a place with very little ventilation. So every sneeze, cough, or fart that anyone's had there in the last day and a half is still down there. We're in an amphitheater right now. This is at the natural entrance to the cave. And the reason there's an amphitheater here is because the entrance to the cave is right there. At sunset, there's millions of bats that come out of that cave entrance. And this amphitheater is here for people to come watch the bats leave the cave. We are not gonna have time to see that. So this cavern was formed over millions of years. There are oil deposits underneath the cavern. The oil deposits emit a lot of sulfur gas that percolates up through the rock. At some point, it turns into sulfuric acid. And sulfuric acid is very good at dissolving limestone. Limestone is what the rocks are made of here. And over millions of years, the sulfuric acid from the oil and gas deposits that are below this land have eroded a huge cave. It is the largest cave in North America. The reason we know that sulfuric acid has eroded this is because gypsum is a byproduct of this process. And there's a lot of gypsum down there. And gypsum is the stuff that drywall is made of. But take a look at this. Let's get down into this cave and check it out. This cave was used by the Mescalero people for thousands of years. It's still sacred to the Mescalero people, but it's now a national park. So we came into this cave through a natural entrance. This natural entrance has only been opened as recently as 1,000,000 years ago. In geologic times, that's basically recent. Before that, this cave was completely sealed to the outside world. So this cave is quite literally a bat cave. There is a population of bats, a Brazilian free-tailed bat, right? The number of bats, it's in the tens of thousands. There's a nursery here for these species of bats, and all the pups are hanging from the ceiling all together. The parents fly out at sunset and then they come back to feed their babies, and these bats can identify their single offspring in a group of thousands of pups to feed the right baby. Well, this is quite an enormous cave. However, there is a place in this cave called the Big Room. Apparently it dwarfs anything we've seen so far. And this structure here is called the whale's mouth because it kind of looks like the mouth of a whale. That's a big old rock slide. So the geological processes are still happening here. These stalactites and stalagmites are still being formed to this day. There's water dripping from the ceiling. Surface water is coming in here, drop by drop. And that's what it takes. All these formations are made. There is life down here. There's beetles and millipedes and other invertebrates that live here permanently. The other residents, like the bats, are only here part of the time. Over here is a stone they called iceberg rock, and this is a rock that actually fell from the ceiling. This is a normal part of cave formations. However, at this point, ceiling collapse is very unlikely because after a while the ceiling starts to take an arched shape. And if you see, the ceiling is exactly an arch. It's kind of hard to see in the video, but when it reaches the arch shape, then it becomes stable. But this one here is 200,000 tons, and it fell from right about there. Now in another segment of Gwendolyn Does Yoga.
in here is like, I don't know, it's like a meditative space. That space that we find for mindfulness is so magical. So if you can see those finger light that they are hanging out from the sun, they were once upon a time they were gel-like texture, and they actually were alive. They were bacteria colonies, and of course they now like have been like passing millions of years, and now they are part of the structure.
And of course, you exit through the gift shop. Fantastic. If you haven't seen this cavern, get out here and look at them. It's really cool. And cut.